Alright guys, Bucketman here, and we're back with more Final Fight 3, as you can clearly see. And on the last part, all we did was beat up a couple of cops and 1,000,000 people in the Billy family and 1,000 wannabe gangsters. And we have 2 beloved G's right here in front of us and a pair of nunchaku. So let's get it going. And, you know, for all of you guys who are actually watching this LP, I'd like to thank you right now. And another thing I'd like to say is, if any of you played Streets of Rage 3, I mean, I've never played Streets of Rage, I've never been a Streets of Rage guy, never owned a Genesis, so I can't really say, you know, I know too much about the game. But I heard it was, like, a lot harder and makes Final Fight series look like a freaking cupcake in comparison when it comes to difficulty. And I just wasted the time to use my super, but alright, we'll redeem ourselves at some point. And no, you don't get to hit me, sir. You step over there. But I heard that Streets of Rage was more in-depth with, you know, more characters and more little secrets than Final Fight 3 has. And I've always wanted to know, is Streets of Rage a better series, or can I get an opinion on that? And another game I'd like to bring up as an honorable mention, since we're playing up a pretty good beat-em-up right now, is for those of you like MMOs and beat-em-ups out there, there's a good game called Dungeon Fighter Online. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't feel like putting time and effort into leveling up a character, then just completely forget about that game. But I mean, if you don't mind leveling up, you know, learning the intricacies of the interface and the skills required and all that stuff, it's a pretty in-depth game, and you can play it on multiple characters, and you know, every experience will be unique and different depending on what class and what skill set you want to try and build up. But you know, I just figured I'd get that game out there because, you know, it's a game I've actually wanted to start playing again, and maybe I can get a few subscribers that would actually want to come join me in my endeavor. And yeah, let's go to the next screen, if Hagar would be so kind, thank you. And it looks like I have my super bar, and I don't know what enemy's gonna get it, but perhaps one of you Caine gentlemen would like to. And I didn't do the rotation. Oh yeah, and Hagar special is when you grab them, press forward, down, forward, Y, and then you'll be on to Grapple Zone Part 2. And thank you, Hulk Wolverine crossover guy. You're really helpful. You just knew I wanted to get poked in the chest. I mean, you know, it turns a guy on sometimes to get poked in the chest. You know, if there's some type of submissive who likes to be dwelling in their basement as they get whooped by some Valkyrie doing some Deus Ex Machina BS to them. I pretty much thought that whole scenario out way too much, but regardless, back to the gameplay. Now, this could be me once again giving the game way too much credit, but I haven't seen too many beat-em-ups actually go vertical. I mean, I've seen some Streets of Rage gameplay, and for the most part, all I've ever seen is left and right, not too much up and down, and I haven't seen too many abridging paths, like if you go this way, you can break open a door and go through here, which actually is coming up in this game in a second, you know. It's a shortcut to the boss, cuts off maybe 2 or 3 screens, can't really remember, but it's a much easier path to fight the boss. And we'll be taking that route. And Fat Jack, I loved you like a third child, but you're too big for me, man. I mean, you are the personification of what diabetes is. I mean, diabetes is no joke, and what the hell? Really, Johnny? Really? Really? Come here. Come here, Johnny. You're gonna hug me. Yeah, you're gonna sit over there, and Fat Jack, sorry, but the paparazzi wanna take a few snapshots, and bada boom, bada bing, you step off on the right side of the screen there with your brother Arby. And yeah, Arby, your restaurant is a piece of ass. I mean, I've gone to Arby's before, and Arby's to me just tastes like absolute vomit. I know some people actually dig Arby's and think it's a pretty good eating establishment, but I'm sorry, I just cannot stand it. I mean, the very first experience I've ever had is my dad was like, yo, you want to go to Arby's? I was like, sure, you know, I haven't been to Arby's, let's try something new. And we get this thing called a melt. And literally, it is a melt. It looked like someone's intestines had already done the work on whatever this abomination of a sandwich was. But, you know, that didn't bother me. And as you can see, we broke the door. And we're going to go into the back door entrance here. And, yeah, we're going to fight some strippers and whatnot. But back to the story. Yeah, so we had this melt. And literally, it tastes like somebody was vomiting in my mouth constantly. While there was some distinct type of processed meat being slammed into my throat. And long story short, I just couldn't stomach it anymore. I mean, I had half of it and said, I'm sorry, sir, I'm done, and I will go and have my McDonald's. In which McDonald's is not much better, but at least it's edible. And I know some people who are like the big Arby marks are going to be like, oh, Arby's is amazing, and you know, if Arby's is amazing, well, more power to you. They got to stay in business somehow, and Mr. Clean, You have been working out. I see back in the day you had a full mustache and you had a legion of strippers and gangsters doing what you need them to do here. Not quite sure I like that going on in my town. I mean, you're supposed to be the guy cleaning up my bathrooms, my kitchens. Now you're over here trying to clean my clock, and I just don't appreciate it. But I do admire his attempt to cosplay as Fred from the whole Scooby-Doo era. So he's got the little ascot, the white shirt. He's even got the shoes, even though I don't think Fred had the little white little socks there, but he did have blue pants and a belt, so I can say that Mr. Clean, he goes all out. Although this guy's name is Call Man, and I guess that's like a play on the waiter, you know, you call him up, Call Man. I don't know, maybe I'm just reaching at that point, but really? Gonna shoulder ram me? No. You stay on the ground, sir. And, you know, another thing I like about this game that I haven't really touched too much on is the music. I mean, the soundtrack for Final Fight 3 is a soundtrack that I actually have a few songs of on my Galaxy Note 2. And yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I have 16-bit songs, MIDIs, etc., so on and so forth, actually on my, like, iPods and stuff like that. I actually can vibe to this music. Another game soundtrack on the Super... No, stay down. Stay down. Thank you. Another game that I highly suggest soundtrack that you go look up is War of the Gems. It's a Marvel game, also made by Capcom, and I can honestly say with a straight face, you know, I gotta give it up to Capcom. Back in the day, their music composers back here in the 16-bit era were like on the chain. I mean, they were literally off the chain. They were off and on the chain. Matter of fact, screw it. They were the chain at this point. And this stage is pretty interesting, and it brings up another point about the opposite and optional paths you can take. And as you can see in the background there, these windows. Now, if you break them all, I heard you get some weird thing to go on at the end of the stage. Not quite too sure about that. I wouldn't know. And Billy, you're just going to have to take this for the team. Power drag. But the thing at the end of the stage is there's a bus sign that's going to be about... I want to say it's going to be where that pipe is, right there in the background. And if you do not break it, you will get a little optional little thing there where a bus will show up, and it'll be like a little secret. Then you have a little fight on the bus with a few new enemies, which is one being inspired by Andre the Giant, if I remember right. And we got more Arby and more Billy, and yeah. I really don't like Arby because, literally, look at his face. He looks like a biker who was obviously too big to fit on a bike. He wears short shorts. I don't understand the logic here. I don't understand the styles here. And actually, that's the sign right there that I cannot slam any of these enemies near. And I will be doing my best to do that so we can try to get to the hardest boss in the game. His name's Caine, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna front. I'm not even gonna BS you. If you can beat that boss, even on easy, if you can beat that boss, I promise you, you'll be able to beat this game, no problems, no questions asked, and, maybe, do I use the special on the girl? Nah, I'll save her, and, wow, I need to go to the bottom of the screen, because that was a little bit too close, and, oh, you want to run me over? You want to run me over? Well, you know what you get now, don't you? Actually, better yet, you want to break my neck? You get it. Or, you know what, screw it, just get off me, people. Thank you. Bam. Bam. And, what the fuck? Really? You're not dead? Come on, get on screen so I can just go over here and drop kick you. Thank you. And I believe that's all the enemies. And instead of getting the traditional go, we actually get a bus. And because we didn't break the sign, the bus knows where to stop, and we enter the bus area. And I remember back when I was a kid and I first found this area, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I was one of those kids with the stars in his eyes, like, oh, cool, this is awesome, I'm on a bus, it's like going to school, you know. It was back when, you know, games were simple and, you know, you get starry-eyed and you can really feel the tension, really feel the emotion of being a passionate gamer. And I can't believe I dropped that guy, but, like, now, like, gamers don't even have the same pride that we used to. I mean, back in the day, I could look at a commercial for a new Sonic game or a new Metroid game or even a new Mario game and be like, oh my god, that looks cool, that looks awesome, or oh, that doesn't look that good, probably don't want to buy it, you know, so on and so forth. You know, my own opinion held weight within the confines of my own mind. But now it's like if the AVGN, IGN, or some popular YouTuber or internet video reviewer doesn't say that this game is good or doesn't give this game 2 thumbs up or the golden okay of ultimate truth, gamers won't even go out and pick it up. Like, gamers don't even trust their own intuition about going out and get the game. Like, it's like, oh, well, this so-and-so said this game was crazy, and I'm gonna go buy it. And even if they don't like it, you know, they'll force themselves to like it. And another thing I noticed is these people who will go out and just buy a game on this simple premise that someone is doing an LP of it that they watch, like, you know, like if you went out and bought Final Fight 3, like let's say this was a new game, because I'm playing it and having a little bit of fun with it, as you can clearly see, yeah, you know, that's cool. That's one thing. You actually are digesting the visual medium of the game and coming to a educated decision. But if you're going to buy the game just because some girl is let's playing it and you're like, oh, well maybe if I buy the game, I can play with her, then you are completely buying the game for completely the wrong reasons. And you know, people like iJustine, you know, I'm not knocking them for what they do, but there are a lot of people who will go out and buy a Call of Duty game knowing they don't like anything about Call of Duty, but will go out and play it because they think they can have some sort of chance of getting some type of cybernetic, I don't know, circle jerk from the girl, which is weird, but you know, the internet is a crazy place. And get down on the ground. Thank you. You know what, screw it. I'm just going to give you the hug of Ultimate Destiny because you're last enemy and you slapped me for quite a bit of damage, and Hagar, he just don't respect that. Oh, okay, so you were not the last enemy and I should have saved it. And that guy right there is not actually Hugo, that is Andor, and believe it or not, he was actually inspired by the WWE late great Andre the Giant. And you know, Andre the Giant, you know, he's a pretty good wrestler, you know. He's the type of guy that, honestly, if he lost, it was a blatant, obvious, hey, this is scripted, because, no, seriously, nobody would be able to take him in a real fight. I mean, you could run up on him, he would pick you up and just throw you off the screen as though you were just some insignificant piece of garbage. I mean, even people who hype up Hulk Hogan even know that if they were getting a real fight, Hulk Hogan would get smashed beyond belief. And, you know, he would probably have to go make another sex tape just to feel good about himself. And is that it? Alright, I think the bus is, yeah, the bus is slowing down. But who the heck is driving this thing? That's what I want to know. Like, he's like, oh god, you killed everybody. I need to stop before you kill me. Yet you just happen to pull up in this junkyard, and I got some health back with that food. Got some sunglasses so I can do my Johnny Cage cosplay. And more Billies. This is going to be a constant theme. And more Dirks. I mean, eventually we're going to run into a combination of... Oh, Johnny's back. Badass. We've got badass Johnny in the room here. So, I'm sorry, Johnny. You have to go. And so do you. And what the heck? Is that another Dirk? Really? Stop throwing these Dirks at me. Throw me something new. Look, I don't even care if you throw a Dirk at me and you change his name. Just give me something different. I'll take a recolor. I really will take a recolor at this point. But, you know, there's another thing I'd like to bring up. I don't know how many of you have actually heard of this game. But, Blaze Blue? Blaze Blue, anybody? Another game coming out. Phantasma. Cannot wait. And, anybody who wants to play that game with me, feel free to PM me your gamer tag. I would love to hit that up with you guys. I don't think that game will come out until the fall, if I remember right. Don't think it's going to release in the summer. It's already out in the arcades, but I wanted to say that the actual console release will be sometime in the fall of this year. And when that game comes out, I will be all over that, uploading online gameplay, no doubt, no doubt. And RB, you can take that, and Fat Jack can go miss me by a mile. Oh, wait. Are there two Fat Jacks on the screen right now? Like, I know there's an RB, but I could have swore I saw another Fat Jack run off on the right side of the screen, but apparently not. Maybe I was just being delusional. Or maybe he just ran all the way off the screen and just said, well, screw it. They got it, and just left me alone. And I will... Really? Did I just get force pushed by you, Tubby? No, come here. Come here. Yeah, you go over there. Think about what you've done. You think about what you've done over there. And we're just one screen away from the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion, because, I mean, every other boss in the game does not particularly do much to me. Like, I may die, like, once due to the fact of I just did a whole stage, but this boss can actually kill me, like, 2 or 3. Oh, no, I did not just get killed by a Billy. No, Billy? Billy. No, you want to come over here and kill me, Billy? I got something for you. I got something for you. You can hold this, and you can hold that. Yeah, you think about what you did, Billy. You don't kill Hagar. You don't do that. And we got more Dirks. More Dirks. Maybe they should change that R to a K, because they are really just dicks. They are really... Who the hell are you? Wait a minute. What? So Ray grew spikes and became a Wolverine guy. That's cool. Wait, if your name is Dirk, what the heck is that guy's name? Wow. Okay, it really is a combination between Ray and Dirk. His name was Rick. That's cool. And I guess you're supposed to be some sort of mini-boss because your health bar started off as tan, which is, I guess, kind of cool. And, oh, wow, that took more damage than it really should have. But yeah, Hagar, you need to finish this dude because that guy's getting on my nerves. And, yeah, we're going to go fight the hardest boss in the game now. Running up, jumping on top of the bus, as many ballers do. You know, we gotta have those hops. But, you know, I heard Streets of Rage 3 also has a black character, and... You know what, buddy? Look, dude, seriously. Caine, let me beat up generic Billy, and generic Ray, and generic G, and... You know, ow. Really, dude? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Or you keep poking me in the face. And yeah, just keep poking me. You know what? Maybe I should just go beat up some generics before I can actually get close to Mr. Caine here, because that keeps happening. You think I'd learn? You know, don't mess with Caine when he's about to get up. But I'm still gonna sit here and try and do it. All right. Hopefully this does some damage to Caine. And as you can see, my special only brought him down 1 shade of gray. And I know someone's gonna make a 50 Shades of Grey reference, and I really hope you don't. I really advise against that because, seriously, 50 Shades of Grey, like, how do you get off to that? Like, I know girls that actually bring up that book and say they get off to it, and it's like, really? I have a hard time believing that, like, you masturbate to a kid getting absolutely ravaged by some sort of intellectual mastermind of a pedophile. Like, it doesn't disturb me. I just think it's weird, like, I don't know. It'd be like, well, then again, you know, people masturbate to weird stuff. I mean, why do you think the hentai genre is so thriving these days? I mean, just look, you got people like Jerk It Jenny. Really, Caine? You're just gonna keep poking me. I lost another life. That is poetic justice. But now you're dead. But yeah, Jerk It Jenny. If anybody's seen that video on our channel, you would know what I'm talking about. And no, you just thank you. Oh wow. No, seriously, that video had me and Count Spatula in complete and utter stitches for a while. Oh boy. So that concludes 21 Jump Street. And we're gonna be back with more Final Fight 3. We're gonna be doing round 4 in the next part, and here's where I shoot up the deuces.